Hey everyone, before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stories like this deserve to be shared. The first thing I noticed when I walked through the front door was silence. Not the comfortable kind that blankets a home after a long day, but the heavy, unnatural kind that made my stomach tighten. The scent of vanilla from the candle I'd lit earlier lingered faintly in the air, but underneath it was something else. Something faintly metallic, like a half-empty bottle of wine had spilled hours ago. I set my suitcase down and watched her move around the kitchen, humming softly, oblivious of the tension that had already been threading itself through my chest. Her name is Claire, my wife of 7 years. At least, she was my wife in the sense that we shared a house, bills, and routines. But lately, the ease between us had frayed. Texts left unread, calls that trailed off mid-conversation, little excuses she made for being late. I'd brushed them off at first, telling myself it was stress from work, or maybe mine, but a whisper of doubt had started to settle in my bones. Before leaving for my business trip 2 weeks ago, I did something I swore I'd never do. I installed hidden cameras, not to spy out of paranoia, but because a quiet voice inside me kept asking questions I couldn't ignore. I told myself it was just precaution, a way to see the home I love, untouched while I was away. Now, standing in the doorway, watching her shuffle across the floor in her soft slippers, I realized the weight of what I'd done. My phone buzzed. A message from her best friend popped up on my screen. "Miss you, face, blowing a kiss, can't wait to see you later." I froze. My stomach dropped. Later, I muttered under my breath. I had seen enough already. Not yet through the footage. Not the entire truth, but glimpses. Texts she thought I'd never see. Smiles she reserved for someone else. Late-night whispers that made the house feel like a stranger's. And then I remembered the sound of the door closing behind me when I first arrived. I could feel it. The night was going to tell a story I wasn't ready to hear. I swallowed hard and took a step forward. "Claire," I said, my voice steadied and I felt, "we need to talk about everything I saw." And that was the moment I realized my life wasn't the one I thought I returned to. I watched her freeze, mid-step, like someone had thrown a stone into a still pond. Her eyes widened, not with surprise, but with that flicker of guilt I had been chasing in my dreams and nightmares for weeks. What are you talking about?" she whispered, voice trembling, hands clutching the edge of the kitchen counter, as if it could anchor her to reality. I pulled my phone from my pocket and unlocked the camera app. I didn't need to show her everything yet, just enough to make her understand that the veil was gone. The messages were there, her text to him, timestamps glowing red on the screen, her laughter in the footage, her soft touches that weren't meant for me, the quiet moments she thought I'd never witness. I could feel my chest tighten, a mix of anger and disbelief coursing through me. 7 years. 7 years of shared mornings, shared bills, shared dreams, all layered over nights like this. Nights where the person I loved was living a hidden life I had no part in. "You think this is about just messages?" I asked, my voice low, controlled, but each word cutting through the silence like a blade. "I watched you, Claire. I saw it. The dinners, the late-night texts, the way you smiled and like I didn't exist." Her eyes darted away, shame and fear mingling in a way I had never seen before. I thought I might collapse under the weight of it all, the betrayal slicing clean to the heart I had given her freely. I wanted to scream, to break something, to make her feel a fraction of the chaos inside me. But instead, I kept my hands at my sides, steady, because part of me knew I needed clarity before I lost myself. She finally whispered, almost inaudibly, "I didn't mean for it to. I didn't think you'd find out." "Didn't think I'd find out?" I echoed, disbelief dripping from every syllable. "Claire, I watched. I was gone for a week, and you invited someone else into the space we built together. You chose him. In the same house we live in the same bed we share." The room felt smaller, every corner pressing in with tension. I could hear my own heartbeat, loud and insistent, reminding me that trust, once broken, leaves a wound that doesn't heal overnight. She stepped back, biting her lip, her hands trembling. I could see the hesitation, the silent panic. And then she said the words I had dreaded. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to tell you. It was confession, but it wasn't relief. And in that moment, I realized there was no turning back. My heart was still beating, but the person I thought I knew, the life I thought I had already changed forever. I took a deep breath, trying to steady the storm inside me. Every nerve in my body screamed, every memory of laughter and quiet nights together clashing with the images I had seen. "Claire," I said softly, but with an edge she couldn't ignore, "this isn't just about you. It's about us, what we used to be. And I don't know if we can ever get that back." Her eyes glistened, tears forming at the corners, but there was no excuse that could erase what she had done. She tried to reach for me, but I stepped back, my voice firm. "Don't touch me. Not yet. You need to understand the weight of this, the choices you made while I was trusting you." She choked out, I cut her off, the words coming sharper than I intended. "You made a choice to betray me, to betray us. And I watched it happen. I gave you every chance to be honest, and you didn't take it." For a moment, silence swallowed the room. The candle flickered, shadows dancing across the walls like ghosts of our past. I could feel my chest tighten, not just with anger, but with heartbreak so deep it almost paralyzed me. 7 years gone, not with a bang, but with quiet smiles and whispered secrets in another's ear. I held up my phone, the footage still glowing in the dark. "I didn't come back to argue," I said. "I came back to decide what I deserve. And what I deserve is truth, honesty, respect. And I can't see a future with someone who can't give that." She fell to her knees, sobbing, the kind of sobs that shake the soul. But her pain didn't erase mine, and it didn't undo the betrayal. I turned toward the door, my hand on the handle. "I loved you with everything I had," I said, voice breaking just slightly. "But love isn't enough when trust is gone." I walked out, leaving her in the flickering candlelight, the house that had once been ours now feeling hollow. Outside, the night air hit me like a promise. Painful, yes, but also freeing. I realized in that some chapters closed not because of fate, but because of choices, and hers had made the decision for me. As I stood on the porch, looking up at the stars, I felt a strange clarity. Betrayal cuts deep, but it also forces you to see what you truly deserve. And I would rebuild, stronger, cautious, but alive. If this story touched you, made your heart ache, or reminded you of the fragility of trust, share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Because sometimes, heartbreak teaches us the lessons love never could.